Giant Sports Talk and Entertainment. Well, it looks like we're going to have some GM news probably in the next couple days. Looks like we have the two finalists, or maybe there'll be a third, but Ryan Poles will be interviewing today Joe Schoen, even though it's pronounced Schoen in regular language, but I think that's in German. It's pronounced Shane. Had his interview yesterday. I didn't check Twitter to see if he rocked it. We'll have to just wait and see. But you know what? It looks like these are our two finalists. And honestly, I don't have an opinion, and I don't have a preference for either. I think both would be fine candidates. I really do. I think the Giants have done their due diligence and have moved forward into the interviewing process. And I've said it before. I think they'll probably make an announcement on Thursday, which would be tomorrow. Only because of the fact that Thursday is a good news cycle day. So you can own the Friday back page of the Post. Or the Daily News or any other New York paper. So that is actually important here in the tri-state area. So, I mean, like I said, if you take a look at both of the finalists, you take a look at Joe Schoen. He's got 2 decades of experience, of course, in the NFL. He really got his big break when Parcells, of all people, which I love, probably gave him a glowing review, hired him as a scout when he was in Miami. He's got a strong background, I would say, in player evaluation. But he's also he's worked across different roles in organizations doing various things. He's done things such as analytics, personnel, football operations, and communications. He's a well-rounded guy. He's probably the best well-rounded guy on the market. And he seems to be the front runner for this position. I'm not sure, which, you just this, like I said, this is just basic league information. He had his first interview, of course, his in-person interview was on Tuesday. He had his Zoom interview last week. I mean, they say he's the kind of guy that'll never be outworked. That's the scuttlebutt that you hear about Joe Schoen, that he's never going to be outworked by anyone. There's also competition involved because people forget he interviewed with the Bears as well. And other interviews are probably going to be coming. So it's not like he is going to be the only guy that the Giants, that's going to be that he's in competition with. Of course, he has the strong ties to the offense coordinator with the Bills, so that would be interesting with the kind of a dictation of his offensive philosophy. People finally figured out the fact that the reason why I like him so much is he sent 4 scouts to the Liberty-Syracuse game to scout Malik Willis. So that's a good indication, I think, that he knew, that, he even though he has Josh Allen, he was still looking and evaluating other talent. And I think that's I think it's what a strong general manager does. The other finalist, of course, is going to be Ryan Poles. Ryan's another guy I really like. He's a former offensive lineman out of Boston College. He's the executive player. What is he? He's the executive director of player personnel in Kansas City. Last year, he was a finalist for was it last year? I think it was last year that he was one of the finalists for the jobs and he was finalist for the job in Carolina. You got to look at the fact that he has been part of 3 different front office regimes with his time in Kansas City. That says something a lot that 2 other guys kept him on after the original person hired him. He's basically been credited with having a big hand in the remaking of the offensive line, for Kansas City. It's something the Giants really need to look at. He's expected, of course, to have a second interview in person at the facility today. And again, he's another guy that's drawing interest from other teams. It's not like we're the only guys that are out there looking at this guy. He's getting interest from the Minnesota Vikings. He is the youngest, of course, of all 9 candidates. And there could be some hesitation, of course, on ownership, but going, basically can't turn over the keys to the franchise to someone this is young. But he's been in the league forever. And you know what? I love it because, like I said, he's got a connection with Eric Bieniemy, offense coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, another guy I would like to see get an interview for the head coaching position. While he doesn't really have any direct contact, I would say, with Flores. Their positions didn't their positions they really didn't overlap because they both came out of Boston College. So Flores was 2002 and Poles was 2003. So there was really no overlapping in there at that point in time. I think he's a good guy for the job. And like I said, there could be other contestants coming. There could be other contestants coming in, but we haven't heard anything in the news cycle yet. So in my mind, these would probably be the two front runners that they're coming in right now and taking a look at this. A look at having the Giants really take a hard look at this consideration. Like I said, Schoen though, to me, like I said, he's gonna be a guy that's gonna be wanted. He's gonna be a guy. It's not a guy that's just going to, no one else is looking at. And I think Giant fans need to understand that. Hopefully he's got that affinity because he wants to come stay in New York, or go to New York. He's in Buffalo right now. So you're hoping that he wants to go to New York, and basically play on the big stage. He's got a simple philosophy. And this is what I like about him. And it's not uncommon, but his philosophy is what people say is he likes to build through the draft. And the Bills really have developed a strong personnel department. And evidently, Schoen has played a pretty big role with putting together the staff, not only with the Bills, but also helping build that roster. So, it's... And again, like I said, he also one of the things I do like about him, he played quarterback as a freshman he was in college. I don't remember where. I don't remember. He played three receivers as a wide receiver, and he was a team captain, but I can't remember the school he played. Someplace in Indiana. So again, he's another guy that's a player. I like players that are coming to these positions. So, and I think it's an interesting story that he got his start with Carolina when he was an intern at the ticket office. So he's been bouncing around the league, and he led to a training camp internship, and then he got a job in football operations as an scouting assistant in 2001. So, like I said, he's a guy that's just been there. He's a guy that's been around. I think he's a solid candidate. He's a solid fit. He looks, like I said, you always say that Joe Judge looked the part of the head coach. He looks the part of a general manager, a front office guy. And I just think that he would be a great fit. But like I said, and if you want to look at Poles as well, he's got the resume. He's got a resume. He put in the time to go through the hierarchy of Kansas City. And like I said, you can't overlook the fact that he played a big role in rebuilding that line with Creed Humphreys and Trey Smith, and I can't remember the other guy. It's the tackle. I can't remember him. And that's something the Giants need to do. Plus, again, he's a New York native. We mentioned this before. Gatorade State Player of the Year in 2002. Parade All-American. Parade magazine's in New York. And again, he's a guy in my mind that, is a former player. Played at Boston College, 72. His father was an offensive lineman and a 3-year starter, I believe. Also, no, he was a defensive lineman. His father, Junior Poles. So, I like former players. He was and we mentioned, like I said, he was wanted last year. He interviewed twice and was considered a strong candidate again in Carolina. But like I said, there's going to be some expectations for these two guys. Hopefully there's a third guy coming in. I haven't seen anything come across Twitter or the newswire yet, but hopefully someone else is going to be coming in because like I said, at least we know for the fact that Schoen is going to be sought after. And we hope that, that it goes that way. But like I said, I love Ryan Poles. I would be happy with either or. I would not be unhappy with these guys. And I think, like I said, and again, if we go through the Malik Willis with Poles, he had Patrick Mahomes, similar style quarterback. I'm not saying Malik Willis is Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying that they are similar style quarterbacks. That's all I'm saying. So I think that's what we need to look at. I think that's what we need to understand. And like I said, there may be a couple more candidates coming in. But like I said, I would not be shocked if we come up and we see what happens and then we see something happen by Thursday. I don't know if it's going to be, like I said, if there may be another candidate coming in, you got to hope there is. But like I said, I'm seeing something probably be announced by Thursday because you want to get ahead of the news cycle. You also want to get ahead of the playoffs and you want to kind of make a big splash. And plus the fact that you need to start looking at head coaches as soon as possible. And again, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could maybe subscribe, ring that bell, you know what it means. That'd be awesome.